Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to today's session, which is the road to Ramadan. Well, inshallah, we're going to talk about how we can best prepare from now so that when Ramadan comes, we are in the best state of being able to connect with the Quran, to connect with the Book of Allah, and to connect with Allah through our prayer, our recitation of the Quran, our pondering and understanding of the Quran. Inshallah, all of this is going to be covered in today's session, which is the road to Ramadan. So let's jump straight in, and we'll begin by mentioning that Ramadan is swiftly approaching and preparation begins from now. So we don't prepare for Ramadan on the first day of Ramadan. No, we prepare for Ramadan before Ramadan. Just like anybody who's preparing for any kind of major event, imagine the Olympics, right? People train for the Olympics for 4 years, 5 years, 10 years before the event. People training for a race or a marathon train for months in advance so that when the day arrives, they are prepared, they are ready to perform. And in the same way, we should be preparing for Ramadan from now so that when Ramadan arrives, we are in the best state and entering with momentum to make the most out of that 30-day spiritual marathon, which is Ramadan. So imagine if you do that, how you'll have a deeper, more spiritual, and more fulfilling Ramadan, inshallah. And how your experience and how you'll be able to experience and truly connect with the Quran, with the words of Allah directly in Arabic. And of course, we're Arabic Unlocked. We're mainly focused on emphasizing the importance of learning the Arabic language to connect with the words of Allah in time for Ramadan. And inshallah, this is something that will stay with you for the rest of your life, not just for the 30 days of Ramadan. So like we said, training starts from now. And in order to train, in order what that training looks like, I want to share with you the 3 keys to unlocking a transformational Ramadan. Key number 1 is intention. Key number 2 is the path that you'll take. And key number 3 is the vehicle that you'll choose to take your journey with. So we'll begin, and we'll go into detail on each of these 3, don't worry. But we'll begin with number 1, which is intention. So know that intention is the source and the drive of all action. In this hadith and in many others, the Prophet ﷺ told us, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَى. That indeed actions are by their intention. They are judged by their intention. Their worth is assigned to them by their intention. And every person will have what he intended. So if your intentions are good and pure and lofty, you have very high aspirations, high intentions, then inshallah this is what you'll have, and this is what will be written for you of your deeds. And if you have bad intentions, then likewise, but inshallah that's not us. So intention is the source of all action. Anybody who accomplished anything, anybody who learnt Arabic, anybody who memorized the Quran, anybody who achieved anything in their life, it all started with the intention that they made. They intended to do that thing, they intended to put in the required effort to achieve that, and then they took the action, of course, and it led them there. But what's amazing is simply the act of making the intention. Never mind the action which follows or the follow through. Simply the act of making an intention is something which is rewarded by Allah and something which is beneficial in and of itself. As told to us in this hadith, where the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَتَبَ الْحَسَنَاتِ وَالسَّيِّئَاتِ ثُمَّ بَيَّنَ ذَلِكَ. That indeed Allah has written down the good deeds and the bad deeds or the evil deeds. And then he explained it by saying, فَمَنْ هَمَّ بِحَسَنَةٍ فَلَمْ يَعْمَلْهَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ عِنْدَهُ حَسَنَةً كَامِلَةً. Whoever intends to perform a good deed, he simply makes the intentions to do a good deed. But he did not do it. So he didn't follow through and actually take the action. He intended to learn Arabic. He intended that by next Ramadan, inshallah, I'm going to know Arabic and understand the Quran. But then he didn't follow through. Then Allah writes it down with him as a complete good deed. He writes it down as if he did what he intended, as if you spent all the time up until Ramadan and you spent all the time required to learn Arabic and you were able to understand the Quran. Allah writes it for you simply based on your intention. And it gets even better. وَإِنْ هَمَّ بِهَا فَعَمِلَهَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ عِنْدَهُ عَشَرَ حَسَنَاتٍ إِلَى 700 ضِعْفٍ إِلَى أَضْعَافٍ كَثِيرًا. That if he intends to perform this good deed, and then he did perform it, which is what we should be aiming for, then Allah writes it down with him as if it is 10 good deeds. So he multiplies it 10 times up to 700 times, up to many times, right? The number only Allah knows. So simply by making intention from now, and I want to suggest and advise that we all take a second, all take a moment to truly make an intention that we are going to try our best to make as much progress as we can, whatever that looks like based on where we are now and where we're trying to get to, however big or small that it may be. We're going to try our best between now and between Ramadan and within Ramadan and beyond Ramadan to progress in our understanding of the Book of Allah, to learn as much Arabic as we can, and to be able to connect with the Quran and by extension with Allah as best as we can. So let's all genuinely make that intention. And at the very least, it's written for us. And just an important point on intention. Of course, Allah knows the reality of the hearts. Our intention shouldn't be something fake. Yeah, I plan to do it, but deep down you have no intention of doing it. No, genuinely intend to do it, whatever it may be. However much you can do, whether it's to learn one word a day, whether it's to learn one word a week, something. Make an intention that you're going to try and make an effort to progress in whatever way you can. So this is the first thing that we need to do. One of the 3 keys to unlocking a transformational Ramadan. It begins with the intention. Make a sincere, genuine intention to progress as best as you can. Once you've done that, then the next question is, okay, what do I do next? Right, where do I go from here? How do I progress in being able to accomplish that goal of connecting with the Quran? So imagine this metaphorical journey towards understanding the Arabic language, understanding the Quran. Imagine it as a genuine physical journey. So now you've made an intention that you're going to go on a journey. Now, before the days of Google Map, now you simply enter the destination into your app and it'll tell you the route, the path that you need to take to get to your destination. And typically it'll tell you the optimal path to get there. But imagine you were looking at a map and you had to plan out the route yourself. Now, you have a few options with how you can plan this route out. You can choose the long route or you can choose the short route. Now, typically the shortest route is the one which is in a direct line between where you are and where you're trying to go. The long route is one that turns and goes in different directions and eventually ends up at the destination you're trying to reach. However, you'll be more tired, you'll be more frustrated, you'll have used more energy, it will take longer on the longer route, of course. Now, also, when a person goes on a journey and perhaps he goes on the long route, perhaps he takes a wrong turn, he's much more likely to give up and say, you know what, this isn't worth it, I want to turn back and just go back to where I started. And this is what happens on your journey of learning Arabic. If you choose the long route, you'll become tired and frustrated and give up. You won't see progress and you'll feel that, you know what, this path that I'm on is never going to take me to my goal and it's not worth the time and effort, so I'm going to turn back. But if you choose the best route, the short route, the direct route, then you see and feel the progress and you have the motivation to continue and you can see the end in sight and you continue till you get there and that's how you reach your goal. So in terms of the path, we need to choose the shortest, the most direct route to our destination. But that leads to the question, what is our destination? Well, this is a question that we have to ask. Choose your destination. Decide on where you are trying to go. If you were going on a journey, the first question is, where are you going? The next question would be, how do you get there? What's the path to that destination? So decide where you're going. Decide on what your end goal is. And how this applies to learning Arabic is, you have to be very clear on where you want to arrive. Because if you want to head east, then you cannot go on a path which leads west. Right? The best path is the one which directly goes east. Now, when it comes to learning Arabic, there are multiple different goals that one can have. Ask yourself, what is your goal for this Ramadan? And of course, this depends on where you are at the moment. Perhaps your goal might be, I want to understand my salah. Right? When I pray, I don't know the meaning of anything I'm saying. I don't know the meaning of Surah Al-Fatiha. I don't know the meaning of the adhkar, the words of remembrance that I'm saying in the ruku' and the sujood and the tashahhud and all these different things. So I want to start with understanding that. And perhaps I'm not praying regularly. Perhaps I want to take Ramadan as an opportunity to begin praying regularly. And a big way to help achieve this is by improving the quality of your prayer. If you understand what you're saying in the prayer, then you're more likely to enjoy the prayer, benefit from the prayer, look forward to praying, and you'll be able to build up the habit a lot easier. Maybe you're already at this stage. Maybe you already know what you're saying when you pray, and you want to go to the next level, which is to begin understanding the meaning of the Quran that you recite in the prayer and that you also recite outside of your prayer, that you hear during the Taraweeh, during Ramadan, and so on. Now, whatever it may be, the first question is decide and understand and gain clarity on what your goal is, and identify the best path to reach this goal. Now, let me give a clear example of what I mean by all of this. So, if you've decided that your goal is to understand the Quran, I want to be able to understand the Quran, then the long path, the path that most people choose is, I'm going to learn Arabic. And it makes sense. The Quran is in Arabic, I'm going to learn Arabic, and I'll be able to understand the Quran. The answer to that is yes and no. Because Arabic is a language. Language has many different words, many different grammar rules, many different aspects to the language. The Quran is a limited, the words and the grammar and the text of the Quran is limited. It's not going to increase, it's not going to decrease. So the Quran has certain words in it, and it has other words which do not appear in the Quran. Now, when you start learning Arabic, perhaps you will start learning words like the ones here on screen for computer and journalist and names of countries and names of places and names of cities and words for modern technology and devices. None of these words will appear in the Quran. The word hasub does not appear in the Quran. The word Pakistan or Jawwal or Sahafi or any of these words do not appear in the Quran. But when you learn Arabic, these words exist within the Arabic language and they have a purpose and they have a use. But this is the long route. This is the long path which will eventually take you to understanding the Quran. But the direct and the short path to understanding the Quran is by focusing on Quranic words. Words which exist in the Quran, and more importantly, and this is another topic in a sense, but there are words in the Quran which appear much more commonly than others, right? There are roughly 5,500 words in the Quran. All of them words do not appear the same amount of times. Some of them words appear 1,000 plus times. So take for example the word min. Right? Min means from or out of. Min appears in the Quran over 3,000 times. Now there are other words like lava which appears once. So by learning these more common words, you're getting a lot more ROI in a sense, return on your investment in learning, by learning these words. This word min actually accounts for 4.4% of the total words in the Quran. Take for example this ayah here in Surah Al-Hadid, I believe. No, not Surah Al-Hadid, but this is a verse in the Quran where Allah says, يخرج الحي من الميت ويخرج الميت من الحي ويحيي الأرض بعد موتها وكذلك تخرجون. That Allah will, now just by knowing the word min, we see that this appears twice in this verse. يخرج الحي, he takes the living, من الميت, from the dead, ويخرج الميت من الحي, and he takes the dead from the living. So compared to the other word that I just described, lava, which appears once in the entire Quran, this word appears twice in this verse. And like I said, it appears over 3,000 times throughout the Quran. So by focusing on these words, I'm able to make much more progress than if I was going on this long and winding journey of trying to learn the entire Arabic language, including many different words and grammar concepts that do not exist and are not required to understand the Quran. And like I said before, there are around 5,000 different words in the Quran. Less than 500 of these words make up 80% of the words used in the Quran, because these 500 words are repeated tens and hundreds and sometimes thousands of times. So the shortest, the most direct path to your goal of understanding the Quran is by focusing on these words first. So that's the second key. First key being intention. The second key being the path. Choose the shortest, most direct path to your specific goal and destination that you are trying to achieve. Because for somebody who is trying to understand their salah, the path will be different. For somebody trying to understand the Quran, the path will be different. For somebody trying to understand a higher, more advanced level of the Quran, their path will be different. For somebody who's trying to learn how to speak Arabic for the sake of conversation, their path is completely different. So you need to figure out what path, what your destination is that you're trying to arrive at, then pick the best path for that. Now, as we said, the journey to understanding the Arabic language, the journey to understanding the Quran is very similar to a real physical journey. So we spoke about making the intention to take that journey. We spoke about choosing the best path to take you to your desired destination. Now, as with any journey, we will normally travel via some kind of vehicle. And this is the third, perhaps most important key, or one of the three keys to unlocking a transformational Ramadan, inshallah. So, like we said, if we imagine it as a physical journey, then the vehicle that we're in is going to massively affect the overall feel of that journey. So if you're traveling, let's say, across the country, and it's going to take you many days. Now compare if you were in the vehicle on the right to if you were in the vehicle on the left. In one of them, in the crammed bus, you're going to be in an environment which is crammed and perhaps smells, and perhaps in a vehicle which is unreliable. It might break down. It may stop at multiple different stops along the way. It may take you off route, right? Compared to a vehicle which is comfortable, is luxurious, is reliable, and it takes you directly to your destination. So in the same way, when we're learning the Arabic language, we're trying to reach our goals, we need to find the best vehicle to take us down the best path to our goal. And what we should be looking for is a vehicle that saves you time and takes you down the best path, and saves you effort by helping you learn in the most optimized way. Now, what do these two things mean? So we spoke about going down the best path. We spoke about what that means and how that can save you time. Rather than learning words which are going to be of no use for your specific objective, focus on words which are much more useful, and they will get you closer to your goal quicker. But how about saving effort? How about learning in the most optimized way? Well, there are many different methods and techniques which can be applied to help you learn the Arabic language more efficiently. And if these are applied in the vehicle that you are using to learn the Arabic language, then inshallah you're going to have a much more comfortable, much more effective, a much quicker experience in making progress in your Arabic studies. So one of these, just to give you one example, we have the spaced repetition system. Now what spaced repetition system is a more effective way of being able to retain vocabulary. So most of us, we learn a word, we memorize it, we remember it perhaps for a few hours, perhaps for a day, and then we forget it. If you try to review that word in a week or two, you've forgotten it. And there's actually many scientific studies done on the most effective interval for you to review a word so that you remember it long term. So when you start to forget a word, your brain needs to work slightly harder to recall that word, and it strengthens your memory. It's like lifting heavier weights in the gym. So if I told you a word, I told you the word kitab means book. Now if you keep repeating that again and again, kitab, 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 every second you keep repeating it, then your brain is not having to work very hard. If now you don't listen to the word kitab for 1 hour and I ask you, what does the word kitab mean? Now your brain has to work slightly harder to remember. Oh, you told me an hour ago, I think it means this. And you remember it means book. So your brain had to work a lot harder than when you were just repeating it. Then a day later, I ask you the same question. And this is what this graph is explaining, that after 1 day, your retention goes to 80%. So if I told you 10 words, you'd remember 8 of them. But if you review them after 1 day, so now you've reviewed all 10, you remember all 10. Now, it takes you 3 days to get to 80%. So you actually remember these words for longer. If you then review them after 3 days, it takes you 6 days to get to 80%. And so on and so forth, till eventually you'll remember all of the words 100% of the time because they have transferred into your long-term memory. So this is one of the things, and one of the systems that can be used to implement this are Lightner boxes. And this is one of the systems. And also we have this exact system built into our Arabic Unlocked app, for example. So we can now utilize technology to implement this. But the point being made is this is one of the features that your vehicle can have to improve your learning experience, to make it a lot easier for you to learn. Another thing, for example, is by focusing, and we mentioned this earlier, focusing on the most commonly used words. So this is a method that's going to give you much quicker progress. So we mentioned the word min, how it appears over 3,000 times. By focusing on this versus focusing on non-Quranic words, you're going to make much quicker progress. Now, these are all methods and techniques that, if they are built into the vehicle that you are using to learn Arabic, then inshallah you're going to make quicker progress. You're going to have a more comfortable and more enjoyable and more effective learning experience and learning journey on your path to reaching the ability to understand the Quran, and on your path in learning the Arabic language. So these are the 3 keys to unlocking a transformational Ramadan. So inshallah, I hope that short and very brief kind of overview of this was beneficial. And naturally, I know this leads to a number of different questions. So if we have made the intention to learn Arabic and to be in a position where we are better placed by Ramadan to connect with our prayer and with our spirituality and with the Quran, then naturally the question will be, okay, how do I know what the best path is for me? And what are the options for the vehicles that I can take? So of course there are many different learning resources, programs, courses, apps, and so on and so forth. Likewise, we at Arabic Unlocked have all of these things to offer. And of course we will have, we like to practice what we preach. So we have embedded the optimal learning paths into the vehicles that we offer. So what they are and what we offer as vehicles for you to learn the Arabic language they come in 3 main categories or 3 formats. We have our Arabic Unlocked Academy, we have our Arabic Unlocked ebooks, and we have the Arabic Unlocked app. So the Arabic Unlocked app, for example, is a downloadable app for your mobile on Android and Apple, and it's a interactive, gamified, playable application which implements some of the things that we mentioned earlier. So like the spaced repetition system that we mentioned earlier, and it's a tool that can help you practice and retain your Arabic vocabulary, grammar, and what you are learning of the Arabic language. Now, in terms of the levels, the app is tailored for anybody, whatever level they're starting at, be it beginner, intermediate, or advanced. We have different sections within the app, like the Arabic letters, word builder, basic sentences. It's perfect for anybody at every level. And also it aligns with the different learning paths, the different goals that you may have. So for example, if part of your goal is to have conversation, to learn how to speak, we have the everyday Arabic section in there. If your focus is on Quran and understanding the Quran, we have Quranic words section, and so on and so forth. So the application is one of the vehicles that we offer that can help you, inshallah, on your journey in learning the Arabic language. Likewise, we have our Arabic Unlocked ebooks, which are an excellent resource and a guide for anyone who's looking to begin improving their vocabulary and learning the most common words in the Quran and in the Sunnah. So we have 2 main ebooks. We have Unlocking the Words of the Quran and Unlocking the Words of the Sunnah. So these words have the top 300 words from the Quran and the Sunnah in the other book, which account for 70% of the total words which are used in both the Quran and in the Sunnah, respectively. We also have ebooks which look at the top 100 verbs and they fully conjugate and look at the meaning of each of them. And this is a shortcut in the sense of a learning guide to learning practical vocabulary which you can use. And we spoke about the most common words in the Quran earlier and how this is one of the best things that you can focus on initially. And these ebooks are perfect learning resources for that. And many of you have already seen these and benefited from these, alhamdulillah. Now, we mentioned earlier somebody who's looking to understand their prayer, and this is their focus, and this is the path and the destination that they're trying to reach. Well, again, one of the vehicles that we offer for this is inside our Arabic Unlocked Academy. We have the Know What You Say When You Pray course. Now, this is a perfect course for anybody who wants to go from praying mindlessly, I want to say, where they have no concentration, no understanding of their prayer, so they have very little ability to concentrate, and they want to go from that to being able to understand, reflect, engage with the prayer in a meaningful way. And I say the emphasis is on the word meaningful because they understand the meaning, they know what they say when they pray. Now, this is designed to teach you the meaning of every single step of the salah, from Allahu Akbar all the way to the end to Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We even start before that. We start with the adhan, which is even before the prayer, but I digress. So it's designed to teach you the meaning of every step of the salah, and we believe it's one of the quickest ways to make an immediate impact on the quality of your salah. When you go from not understanding what you are saying when you pray to understanding what you say, it has the biggest impact out of anything that I can think of in terms of the quality, improving the quality of your prayer. And it teaches you how to build a foundation for khushu'. And khushu' is a concept, and we'll simplify it to concentration and attentiveness in the prayer. Now, of course, the kind of flagship program that we have in the Arabic Unlocked Academy is our Quranic Arabic Unlocked program. Now, this is for anybody who's looking to fully understand the Arabic language, to understand the Quran. So if your goal is to be able to recite and listen to the Quran and have an understanding of what you are reciting and what you are listening to being recited in the Taraweeh, in your prayer, on a YouTube video, whatever it might be, then this is the program for you. This is the program that we've designed. It has multiple different levels where we go from step by step through all the different aspects of the Arabic language for you to be able to go from a word all the way build up to understanding a sentence, understanding a full ayah. Now, the nature of the program is that it's self-paced. So it's broken down step by step. You have your lessons, you have your practice sections, you have your exercises, you have your homeworks, and so on and so forth. And it's self-paced, meaning it's all pre-recorded, available for you to access at any time that you are available to study, to move and progress at whatever pace suits you. So it could be a lesson a week, could be a lesson every 2 weeks, could be a lesson a day, whatever works for you. Combined with that, we have our private student forums and classrooms where you can interact with the students and stay motivated and share your progress and all this kind of stuff. And a major thing which we have is ongoing tutor support. So, for example, if it's going to play, no, it's not. Okay, so we have ongoing tutor support where inside the portal on the academy, you have the ability to message your tutor. So, there we go, it's playing now. So you have the ability to contact your tutor with any questions, any support that you need throughout your studies. So for example, you need help with a certain lesson, certain question, and of course this is the beauty of it being self-paced, is that you are going to be at a specific stage in your own studies, whereas another student might be at a different stage, so you're going to need support specific to where you are. Sorry, the video is just glitching, but essentially you'll be able to direct message your course tutors, ask any support, any questions that you need. So you say, for example, I'm on this lesson, I'm stuck with this thing. You'll get personalized, customized support for you. And you can message tutors at any time and they will respond in a timely fashion, inshallah. So this is a massive aspect of the course that we've embedded in there. This is at no extra cost. There's no extra charge for this. This is part of the program. Every student has access to this. And on top of this, we also have a regular live session schedule. So we have revision and practice sessions multiple times a week with course tutors. We have monthly classes, weekly classes. We have recordings of everything provided, where inshallah you're able to have a live element of teaching. So we know that self-paced has many, many benefits, pre-recorded, and the tutor support has many benefits, but still people like to have some human interaction, some live in a classroom environment with their teacher, with their fellow students. So we also offer this as part of the program. Now, like I said, if you're looking to connect with the language of the Quran by Ramadan and for the rest of your life, then this is the program that we recommend. Many students have been through this program, alhamdulillah, seeing great results. One of them being one of my early students, Muqim, who didn't know any Arabic, was a hafiz of the Quran, had taken other courses, and after taking the program, alhamdulillah, he was able to understand much of what he was not just reciting, but also even hearing in the Friday sermon of Jum'ah. And this is for everyone. Like, we've designed this course to be for everybody, whether you've memorized the Quran, whether you've tried learning Arabic before but you failed, whether you've learned another language or you haven't, whether you've never studied Arabic before, brothers, uncles, sisters, aunties, everyone. And In particular, somebody who knows zero Arabic might be thinking, okay, this program sounds like, you said it starts from words and then it goes to building up sentences and then understanding full ayat, which is true. That's the Quranic Arabic Unlocked course. For somebody who knows no Arabic, in combination with this, we also have our Arabic Letters Unlocked course. This is the entry-level course for complete beginners, where you can learn how to read and write Arabic. So you start from literally from the letters, and then we build up to reading words, phrases, and sentences. Once you're at that level, you move on to understanding. So this is more about just being able to read, being able to get to a level where we can recognize what it says with minimal comprehension. Then we move on to the Quranic Arabic Unlock course for understanding and comprehension. And that essentially is an overview of all the vehicles that we have to offer at Arabic Unlocked. So we recommend you check out our ebooks, our app. If you haven't already downloaded it and have a look and try it out. And then look at our academy. Now, inshallah, links to all of these will be provided via email. They're on our website. You can find them all. And like I said, for depending on what your goal is, if it's to understand the Salah, check out I Know What You Say When You Pray course. If it's to move on to that next level and understand the Quran when you're reciting it and hearing it recited, then check out our Quranic Arabic Unlocked course. And I'll conclude with this, inshallah, which is Ramadan is, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this verse, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. That the month of Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed as a guide for humanity with clear proofs of guidance and the decisive authority. Now, why this is important is because we typically know Ramadan as the month of fasting. And many of us take Ramadan as the month of giving charity. And it is both of them things and much more. However, the Quran mentions Ramadan as being the month of the Quran, the month during which the Quran was revealed. And this is what makes it and gives it an honor over the other 11 months of the year. Because this was the month during which the Quran was revealed. This is the month during which Jibreel, the angel Jibreel, would come and teach and practice the Quran with the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet ﷺ would read the entire Quran to Jibreel every Ramadan. And in the year he passed away, he read it to him twice. Ramadan is the month of the Quran. So we should try our best to make an effort to do whatever we can to improve our connection with the Quran this Ramadan, next Ramadan, and every Ramadan for the rest of our life, and also in between all the Ramadans. But we should be taking the opportunity from now to prepare so that when it comes, we can say to, because we may never make it to Ramadan, and we can say to Allah, Ya Allah, I was putting this effort in, I made the intention to prepare so that I could have the best Ramadan of my life. And as we mentioned earlier, inshallah, that intention will be written for you as if you did it. And Allah is merciful. So, Jazakumullah khairah. We hope you do check out, like I said, them different vehicles that we offer, the app, the ebooks, and the academy. And if you have any questions, inshallah, just shoot us an email across. And yeah, barakallah feekum. Jazakumullah khairun for watching and staying till the end. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He blesses us all, accepts from us all, and allows us to see many Ramadans, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.